but your vanity has really kept you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah,
See,
I'd rather be pretty than face drunk.
¿por qué no los dos?
Let's go.
Hi guys, welcome back to Give It To Me Straight, where we're just guys, being dudes. I'm your host, Matty Morphosis, and joining me on the show today is my gym bro, all the way from season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race, Kameron Michaels.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
What's up, bruh?
Good, good, got a quick pump in for the episode, feeling good, light sweat, little bronze.
That straight man, you're straight, right? Before I get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allegedly.
So you have to allegedly.
Yeah.
You have to teach me the greetings. I don't know the greetings. Don't you guys?
The greetings?
Isn't like a fist bump?
Oh,
Or
yeah, like that, and occasionally a blow up.
Occasionally
I think
this.
so. I don't know. I'm like 30, so I don't know if that's still relevant.
and I'm
So,
gay, so I have no idea.
we're learning today.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of people. I think when they think of Kameron Michaels, they picture this beacon of masculinity
Oh, okay.
on the outside, anyways. But your
There you go.
personality, it's like you're very like you're not as butch as you present. Like if someone's like scrolling through your content without ever watching a video, just looking at pictures, they'd be like, oh, that's a manly man right there.
No, that's another form of drag for me, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I'm a weirdo, so I think that's just drag is the more feminine side of me, and then sometimes if I put on a backwards hat and tattoos, then
Yeah.
it's more masculine, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I'm not like that at all in person.
See, people think that like, oh, you're presenting masculinity. Like, no, like you said, it's just drag. Like this is drag. This is high drag. Is what
Yeah,
this
we're all
is.
naked and the rest is drag, or we put it
Yeah.
on. I thought I didn't say that right, but you know what I mean. Yeah. What is it? What's it say?
To
We're all born
misquote-
naked and the rest is
drag.
drag. There.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So anything we put on is drag.
So, like, do you still prefer to go by Cameron outside of drag? Does it matter to you, or?
I do. I feel like everyone that's a part of my life now, not everyone, but the majority of people I have met after this journey on Drag Race. So I just tell people it's easier everyone knows me as Cameron, and it's like second nature to me now. So
Because Cameron's a very like unisex name too.
that's why I chose it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot better than the first drag name.
What was the first one?
It
Do you remember?
was. Wait, I got it. Ariana St. Clair.
Ariana St. Clair?
Yeah. If you go to like a drag name generator and hit random,
That's it.
Is that where you got that from? Is that where it came from? That's what it sounds like. It's like pick a pop diva
Yeah.
and a generic drag last name.
Yeah. And then it was Taylor Danes because I wanted the androgynous name. So first it was Taylor, and then my first name is Dane.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Taylor Danes, that's really cool. And then one of the Nashville drag queens was like, you can't be Taylor Danes. That's a real person. That's an 80s singer. And I was like, oh, okay. So we moved on to Cameron.
I I can't imagine like the embarrassment of entering into the drag scene and not knowing who Taylor Dane is. Like in hindsight, be like,
it was
"Ooh."
bad.
Yeah.
So thank God I got away from that. So,
So like you're out of drag today, because you didn't want to shave, of course. But like I think a lot of people assume you just quit drag entirely, but you haven't like completely put it on the back burner. When can we expect to see Cameron Michaels in the wild anytime soon, or is it probably gonna be a little while?
so I was performing all last summer and fall. A lot of the times I don't know. I feel like when I'm at a gig, Aquaria is one that comes to mind. Aquaria is so good about getting content while she's at gigs. She would do a whole photo shoot while she's at a gig. I just saw her do one at Heaven in London, and she's so good about that. And I'm so absent-minded that I forget to take pictures while I'm at a gig. So I may be performing for months and just forget to take pictures. So that's how it was. And then of course, I've had a couple social media hiatuses, but I was performing while I wasn't posting on the internet. So sometimes just because people aren't seeing me online doesn't mean I'm not out there working.
Yeah, you're like just secretly doing shows
Yeah.
behind everyone's back.
Yeah, I might share a poster in my
Yeah.
stories, but sometimes social media just gets exhausting to me. So I just kind of leave it be for a while.
It's just like a little treat for like a random audience that doesn't even know you do drag, and all of a sudden you're on a show poster in that random city.
Yeah,
one
there
night
she is,
only.
resurrected
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
It's like you're doing your number. You're like, no one's gonna believe
No
you.
one's gonna believe you. No one's gonna think. No videos, no pictures. Shh.
Yeah. So why did you take a hiatus from drag? And like when did the hiatus like really start? Because like you're still doing shows, but you weren't really like promoting as much and not really putting your drag on the forefront like that. Like when did the semi hiatus start?
I want to say the semi-hiatus, I want to say it started, I mean, quarantine was another story. That was a different era of,
Right.
of messiness up here. But I think after Drag Race Live, I had to take a little bit of a break because Drag Race Live it's a hard show. There's a lot of costume changes. We're working 5 nights a week. I was there from 4:30 to 11:30 midnight every night, and I wasn't used to that with the schedule of after Drag Race. You know, I would do weekend shows here and there, or we'd be on tour. But it was a lot, and I think I overworked myself, and I think I got to the point where it's like I need to take a break.
So did you just like choose to take a break from Drag Race Live, or like what or they changed the cast, or can I ask about that?
Yeah, so I was part of the original cast that opened the show, and I want to say that after I kind of ran the numbers in my head, the other girls would be on for 3 months and off a little bit. I ran the first 10 months with almost no days off.
Oh my God.
I didn't even gig out. Like a lot of the girls will gig out and like find replacements. Unless I was sick, I was there 5 nights a week for about 10 months, and I think it just burnt me out. It was a lot.
Did you move to Vegas for that show, or were you already out here?
I did. Well, we came in 2020 for the show, and then after, once pandemic hit, we got sent home. So I went back to Los Angeles and ended up spending the entire pandemic there. And then once we were opening the show again, once theaters could reopen here in Vegas, then I moved my whole life here because I knew that I'd be here for at least a year or two. So I kind of picked up, and then I've been here ever since.
Yeah, and it's cheaper than LA.
Yeah,
you know?
it's there's more space, higher ceilings. It's a little bit nicer. I was squeezed in a box of an apartment when I was living in Los Angeles, and that was during the pandemic. And I had one window, and it was so depressing. It was just so depressing. So when I came here, I was like, I want windows, I want space, because that apartment and pandemic really did a number on my mental health. So.
Yeah, you're working out. You're like, I'm getting bigger, and the space needs to get bigger. It's getting cramped.
Yeah, I need more room.
Yeah, you got to move the fish to a bigger tank. You know.
See?
Yeah,
bigger pond.
So whenever you're like taking your hiatus from drag, though, I say you're doing like a few shows here and there, but not near as much as you were doing like Drag Race Live, and probably not the same income you're making doing Drag Race Live.
No.
So how were you like? What were you doing work wise? Like, how are you surviving out in Vegas?
Yeah. So luckily, I owned a home in Nashville. Before I ever moved to the West Coast. And so I sold my home when I moved to Los Angeles, and basically pandemic, that was me surviving off of the sale of my house.
Oh, wow.
And then that little bit of chunk left over in my savings account kind of kept me going when I wasn't working. When I felt like my mental health is like, I cannot do this right now. I just lived off. Luckily, I was blessed that I had that savings account. So if I wasn't working, which it's all gone now. It's completely gone. But that was how I was surviving, was the sale of my house.
Oh, yeah, because I know you're doing like some fitness stuff, but again, like I haven't seen a whole bunch like going on. So I was like, how does she like? I knew you had a house too. Like I didn't know how big it was, but I was like, I knew you had a house.
Yeah.
So I was like, how is this person surviving? Like Vegas is cheaper than LA, but it's not cheap. So
no.
damn. So you really just like we're just slowly eating away at a home payment.
The savings account is gone, but I needed it. I needed to take the break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, living out here, like I knew there was a handful of Rue girls that lived out here, and you were the ones that I knew lived out here, but like I never saw you. Didn't see any shows, not doing Drag Race Live. The first time I ever saw you was go-going.
Oh my God.
I think it was New Year's or something.
Yep. New
Where,
Year's
like-
2023 or 2022.
Yeah, because I got some friends that work at the club here, and I remember seeing you, and I was like, that guy looks familiar. Like I've never seen him go-going here, but like that guy looks familiar. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's Cameron. That's the Kameron Michaels. And I think because you don't expect to see a Rue girl dancing on the box. Like so many people didn't know it was you. You're just getting tips like any other go-go. What? Like I know you did go-go back in Tennessee before drag, right?
I did, yeah.
So were you just like wanting to relive your youth? What was it that got you back on the box that night?
I mean, I'm closing in on 40, so maybe it's a midlife crisis. I don't know.
There it is.
It was just random, and it was fun. And I'm friends with the manager of Prana, Mike, and I can't remember. I think he brought it up, and he asked me, "Do you want to go on New Year's Eve?" And I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? And I think we agreed to it like about 2 weeks beforehand. And I was like, oh, good. I'll be on my cardio, and I'll be eating healthy, so I could be up on a box on New Year's Eve. It was fun, and it did remind me of when I was younger, because that's what led me into drag, was Gogo Dancing. So.
Did anyone like clock you that night?
Alexis Mateo.
Well, anyone outside of the Drag Race girls?
The dancers from Drag Race Live were there, and they walked in and they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, athletic. A few fans, but mostly just the drag queens walking around being like, what are you doing here? So it was fun. I had fun.
Yeah, like outside of seeing that box, I haven't seen like much of you. And doing the research for your interview has probably been the hardest one so far.
Really?
Yeah, because
Sorry.
yeah, no, yeah, it's your life.
I'm kind of elusive.
Yeah, yeah, you are more lucid than like any of the other girls because like you don't post a lot about your personal life and opinions, and you also purged most of your life
I did.
from social media.
Yeah.
So it was around the time of the pandemic or so that you purged everything. What was the reason for like clearing out your socials like that?
Pandemic was really rough for me. I just felt like I felt like I had no purpose. I was just sitting. I was rotting in my apartment, and I just felt like, I mean, obviously the first month or two was very nice. As a working Rue girl, it was like, oh my God, I get to sit down on my couch. I get to be at home. I get to play video games and watch movies and sleep in my own bed. But after about 3 months, it was not fun anymore. And as you know, we were in pandemic. We were in lockdown for 8, 10, 12 months. It was a long
Most
time.
of us were.
Yeah. And it hit, not that it wasn't difficult for a lot of people, but it hit me really hard. And I just kind of lost my mind. And I don't know. One day I was just looking through my camera roll and I was like, I hate myself. I hate all of this. I just want a fresh start. And I just blacked out everything. I don't know. Different headspace. But it definitely wasn't a good headspace. And I deleted everything.
Were you not worried about like what that would do, like your brand, income, or anything like that? Or
I didn't care.
Oh wow.
I didn't care about anything. I was to the point where there was a 3-week period where I didn't get out of bed. I mean, I would use the bathroom, and admittedly, I would shower maybe once a week. I just felt like nothing. It was very depressing. It was very sad, and yeah, I didn't care. I didn't care at all.
Was it just because of the isolation that made you feel this way, or were these feelings that were kind of bubbling up before that?
I had never been to therapy prior to pandemic, which I think a lot of Rue girls should be in therapy before they ever go to the show, especially afterwards. But I had never been in therapy, and I think a lot of things started bubbling up from my past, and then the isolation and the loneliness from pandemic, it all just came crashing down. So,
And to clear it up too, I think RuPaul also purged their socials around the same time, but that was a coincidence entirely. You weren't on the phone, you're like, hey Diva, do you want to
hey girl, are we doing, yeah,
count of 3?
yeah, ready, go. And of course, then I think I remember seeing some comments and some things about that RuPaul and I were in conspiracy because we were emptying out our socials, like something bad had happened or something. And I was like, it's nothing to do with me. I don't know what she's doing, but we're not on the same.
She's having her own crisis.
She's having her own crisis.
Unrelated.
I have my own. That's not related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you weren't really performing. Was performing something that was giving you joy at that time, or was it really just like a job for you?
If I can just kind of talk about Drag Race Live in that aspect, it was fun for a long time, but then it became not fun. I think the joy of drag is that we get to perform whatever we want and we get to lip sync to songs that we enjoy. And it's not that I didn't enjoy the songs I was doing on Drag Race Live, but after doing them 5 days a week for 10 months, it's like, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing every day. And I guess that's where I got like kind of burnt out with it.
Well, what got you into drag though? Because not a lot of like muscle queens, get into drag. It's like you, Miss Toto, Six.
So I was working at a club, and what's funny is I turned 18 before my senior year of high school, and I went to a private Christian Church of Christ school. So while I was going to my private Christian Church of Christ school Monday through Friday, on Friday and Saturday nights, I was driving 45 minutes to Nashville to go to the gay bar and work because I was 18 during senior year. So the juxtaposition of the back and forth of my life when I was 18 was very funny because I was in church Monday through Friday and then at the gay bars on Saturday, go-going in a Speedo. And I just saw the drag queens there and I was like, just these ethereal creatures. And I was like, she's so pretty, she's beautiful. And I was just obsessed with the drag queens. I would take them shots backstage. I would want to be around them because I was so obsessed with these stars. And then, of course, I just got roped in, and that was the end of it.
You have a success story now. A lot of people have because like every bar has that annoying person that's obsessed with the queens,
Is that me?
and then
Am I
they
the annoying person?
Well, you probably were back then,
Yeah.
but then eventually they want to do drag too, and it's really crunchy, and it kind of stops like a one show.
Yeah.
But you actually like surpassed them and went on to like Drag Race and all that. So
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
like diamond in the rough.
Yeah, it was a crunch.
Yeah.
It was a crunchy in the beginning though. I
Yeah.
remember the first show I did. I got made fun of for my pads because they were too big for my body.
Yeah, I have a picture of.
Oh, no.
I was kidding. I don't.
Oh no! I was gonna say, I did Celine Dion in a short wig and a maxi stretch dress, spaghetti strap, and the hips were like, I mean, they were ridiculous. They just didn't. The shoulders did not match the hips, and so yeah, it was rough in the beginning.
Yeah, it was very different too because what a lot of people don't know is that you actually started doing drag before you got like really into like fitness and stuff. So there, somewhere out there are pictures that exist, surely, of a much smaller Kameron Michaels.
Oh
like,
yeah,
in drag.
I have them. My mother made sure that I have them. I have a photo album because she's my biggest fan. I have a photo album of all of my old drag stuff from like 18, 19, 21 years old, and it's a different era
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, you purged it all out from social media, but if you would be as kind to send me a photo, we'll put one up for the fans, just as like, just a taste, whatever you're comfortable with.
I will. This here that you're seeing now is the very, very beginning. This wasn't even Cameron. This was Ariana.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
St. Clair.
And your friend is in the studio with us. If you could find an embarrassing one, send that to me. I'd appreciate that more. So we'll throw that one up too whenever we get it.
There's a
So-
box at home, I'm sure.
Yeah. But you said you were 18 and when you were 18 before you graduated. Was it just like when your birthday fell, or did you get held back?
I
The brain is a muscle too, you know.
Yeah, I didn't work out the brain, I guess. I did 2 years of preschool. I
You did
think
preschool.
Yeah. So
Like maybe like 5 or something, or
so kindergarten I was 6. So I think I was in preschool. That's what we called it. I feel like there's other names for it now, but preschool was what we called it, and I went for 2 years because my mom decided I wasn't ready. So I was one of the older kids in class.
What were you like as a kid? Were you just like kind of bumbling around? Was she right?
Yeah, I think she was. Yeah, I was smart.
Behavioral issues?
No, not really.
You bit people?
I wanted to.
I know.
A few times. I will say
Tennessee?
I didn't know how to wipe my butt for a really long time.
Did you figure it out?
The teacher had to. I was like in preschool and kindergarten, and the teacher had to wipe my butt.
No. Well, at least it was pre-K, not
Yeah.
senior year.
Senior year of high school. I think that's why I got held back, because I didn't know how to wipe my own ass.
That's definitely a solid reason too. They'd be like, hey, we'd love to move him into the regular school, but
We're trying to teach science. We can't be taking breaks and wiping butts. So that's
Yeah.
what happened.
I'm glad you figured it out because you're drinking all them protein shakes and stuff. So I know it's not as good. So
No, I'm glad I figured that one out.
But what were you like as a kid though? Like I'm assuming you were probably really introverted back then too, right?
I wouldn't say I was very that introverted when I was younger. Before all of the bullying and things happened further on in elementary school. I was fun as a kid. I was out in the playground. I mean, obviously, I was playing with the girls. I was doing all the cheers out on the playground and cartwheels and monkey bars and all of that stuff. So I was active as a kid.
It's really interesting because I feel like the boy that plays with the girls and the Poopy Butt kid, those normally aren't the same kid.
No,
So
I was
kinda-
both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of a rare crossover.
Yeah, I was femme and gross.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah, you're playing dress up, eating your boogers, like you just you're a free spirit.
I was just floating around.
You're not gonna be confined by norms and labels. Like I'm just me.
I'm just me.
Yeah.
This is me.
But you mentioned that you got bullied whenever you were in school. You talked about it in interviews before. When did the bullying really start for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I grew up in the South in a small town. I say I'm from Nashville, but I'm from an hour south of Nashville. So it's very southern, very conservative. A church and a bank on every corner, which is not bad, but for a little gay kid in the South, I've been there. It's not fun, and obviously the bullying got really bad in high school, but it started much earlier than that. I remember in first grade, I took a My Little Pet Shop container. It was like a case, and you opened it up, and it had all the little pets and animals and these little trinkets. I got made fun of for that because it was a girl's toy. But I think the one that that sits right here with me the most that I can always remember is in 4th grade, when the teacher left the room one day. The kids in the class stood up and put up a vote to decide if I was a boy or a girl. So I remember that one vividly. Is I remember the teacher left the room and they all decided to vote on if I was a girl or a boy, which doesn't feel good. I was 10 years old. I don't know. I didn't know what gay was at that age, so it sucked. It wasn't fun.
Yeah. They created democracy.
They did.
In
and
the classroom just to bully you.
Yeah, they created democracy and they bullied me. They also created Kameron, so I guess I need to send a thank you to all my elementary school bullies for making me a superstar.
But you stopped being Cameron, so where are we at?
Yeah, right?
Were they right? Were they wrong? Who knows?
I was a weird kid and I wanted to sign my name as Victor in 4th grade. So
Victor? Why Victor?
I don't know. I was obsessed with vampires, I think.
It's a very vampire name.
Vampy name.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be somebody else from the very beginning, I guess.
Yeah. So you were like the vampy kid that played with girls and had poopy butt.
Yeah.
We're connecting the dots here, piecing it
Yeah,
together, putting
it's
all the
all- it
Legos
all-
in for the figurine.
It all adds up.
So like you're talking about like the bullying you experienced. Obviously, it probably got worse in high school.
Oh, yeah.
What was high school like for you? Were you out in high school, or was it just being bullied because you were effeminate?
I mean, obviously, it was the way that I looked and talked, and apparently, I have a walk. There's a way that I walk, so that's haunting up to this day because I'm like, wait, am I sticking my ass out when I'm walking? Am I prancing?
You walk like the geese in Aristocats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Apparently, I pranced, so sometimes that still catches me as an adult. But yeah, it was awful. I would wear a hoodie to school, and I would kind of try to, when I would walk between classes, I would put my hood up. We couldn't have headphones, because that's a lot of, as an adult, I'll wear headphones everywhere that I go, just in case someone screams something at me, which has been a lot of my younger years, people screaming slurs at me. If I wear headphones, I don't have to hear it. But obviously in school, I couldn't wear headphones. So I'd put up my hoodie and I would just act like I didn't hear them as they called me names when I was walking down the hall.
Yeah, talking about like your experience in high school and still wearing headphones to this day, like the fact that it still carries over even now, because I mean, you're not someone that I would try to bully in the wild,
Right.
even if I was of that mindset. But the fact that you still feel the need to like keep those headphones in and stuff, it feels it's like a carryover trauma.
Yeah, it is. I think now it's like, even if someone were to scream a slur at me in a vehicle driving by, which was a lot of my youth, I think it's less being scared of that now and just more like I just tune out a lot of the world. It's so noisy. I mean, it is a little bit of trauma, I think, but sometimes it's just nice to live in my own little bubble in my lo-fi world. It's my favorite music. Is lo-fi. I love it so much.
Lo-fi hip hop beats to study to.
Oh, it's so nice. The little lo-fi girl with her cat on YouTube. It's one of my favorite playlists, and it's when I'm doing dishes. It's when I'm doing anything. When I'm walking around the grocery store, I'm listening to that.
Is that your gym music, just like lo-fi hip hop or beats?
No, the gym music is definitely like Blade 2, Vampire Circuit Party.
Like the European dance music.
Yeah, the gym music's a little harder than the lo-fi for sure.
Is it because of just higher intensity music, or just your vampire stage comes back out whenever you're at the gym?
I mean, I guess I want to be like a superhero. I want to be like a badass, and I always love the villains more than the heroes in the movies.
Outfits.
They looked
Yeah.
cooler. They had better backstory.
Yeah.
Not everybody was a villain. The villains were created. You know what I mean? Like the villains, they went through something. So, I don't want to be a villain, but I think I relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're watching a movie and like someone's like, I want to like, destroy the world. You're like, he's just misunderstood.
He's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
They made fun of him. Look.
Yeah.
See?
He was bullied.
He was bullied.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think every villain is like a Megamind situation or the
Right.
Grinch. I think
Yeah.
some people are just bad people, but
Yeah, they are.
yeah.
I think I harnessed that into something good. Like let's be a superstar. Let's not cause chaos.
Now that you're like much more intimidating, do you find yourself being the bully at times?
I'm intimidating.
Well, physically,
Intimidating. I think that's a misconception about me, is that I'm intimidating. Apparently I have a gym face. It's very like, don't talk to me, leave me alone. That's just like kind of I think a defense mechanism for being in that environment. But then when you talk to me, I like light up and I smile, and I don't think I'm intimidating at all.
No.
So maybe it's just from the outside. I don't
No,
know.
you definitely have like scary dog privilege, where it's like,
Okay.
it's just like aesthetically,
Then it works. Then it works.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm the same way. I'm very nice, but people see me coming,
They should be scared.
They should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works out sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it keeps. If you talk to me, I'm really nice, but you should be a little scared too.
Like you do like workout. Do you ever do like like fighting, like martial arts or anything like that? Can you fight?
I've been wanting to lately. I don't know if it's
A certain person or just in general?
just in general.
Okay.
Like I've kind of been like, nobody's called me an F slur in a really long time.
But you're just like, I wish someone
I
would.
wish somebody would. Yeah, I think that's just me going to the gym now, and it's like, well, when I was younger, obviously I didn't fight back because I was very small and very teeny tiny, and now that I'm bigger, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm just waiting for it. I think I'm waiting for it. So if
It's that juice, man.
if this interview airs, not the juice. If this interview airs and I'm in jail, it's because I got in a fight for somebody calling me a name.
Yeah.
Sorry,
She's misunderstood.
She's just misunderstood.
Not all villains, not all felons are bad people.
You caught my 38 years of trauma in one punch.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's like I keyed their car, they called me a jackass, and I murdered them. But
Just, what it
just
is.
girly things.
Just girly things. Just little girly poopy boy things.
Yeah, just girly poopy boy things. And then I bit him because I'm a vampire. Such crazy, like all these different little facets. I feel like maybe it's because like it's a small town thing, but like I also grew up in a town of like 80 people in my graduating class, like very small.
Mine was 37.
Yeah, so even smaller.
yeah.
I think you're the first person I've met that went to an even smaller school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But watching movies and stuff on TV, I always saw all these like little cliques, and there's like the jocks and the popular girls and the nerds. But in a small town, there's such a small amount of people that everyone kind of bleeds into the other groups because everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
So you get to have this weird amalgamation of identity traits.
Yeah.
So like, what are we missing though? Because what else was like some of your things?
I mean, I was in band. I was a band nerd.
What'd you play?
I played clarinet and bass clarinet and jazz piano. So I was a band nerd.
Okay.
I think that's a safe haven for a lot of the losers. Was band.
Did you get a theater? No.
We had theater, but I think that I was too shy. When you're in a band, in an ensemble, you can kind of hide in the background a little bit. But I wasn't, which is funny because I do shows now, but acting in theater was not my thing in high school.
When did you start learning how to like dance and stuff like that? Because your performance style is a lot more like dancey. When did you start picking that up? Because I know a school like that didn't have dance classes.
I've never taken a dance class. I mean,
Just watching the Queens.
just watching the Queens, I guess. And I think it's funny when people call me a dancer because it's like I'm not a dancer. I just watch the other drag queens and I'm like, oh, this looks fun. And maybe I adopted some of my own stuff. And, I think music videos were a big thing for me. The MTV music videos from like the 90s and early 2000s. I would study those and watch those.
It's like watching old Britney performances.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no Derek Barry, but I think watching those helped me learn how to make it look like I'm dancing because I definitely don't know how to dance. Let's be so for real.
You can do a little patty bouret and a little A count.
A little side step.
Yeah, you can
a little
move. You know how to
twist.
move your body.
Yeah, I learned I could do splits, and I'm like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
there's my trick.
In addition to everything else, recently you were diagnosed with ADHD. So as we're talking about you as a young kid, looking back, were there like things as a child where you're starting to connect dots or things from earlier in your life where you're connecting dots to your ADHD and like that makes sense now?
I think I'm connecting more dots as an adult. The only one that stands out to me as a kid, and I'm not saying this is a trait of ADHD, but someone that is neurodivergent, our brains tend to work really fast. How a lot of people describe it is if you look at a computer with like a ton of tabs open or a browser tab, that's how our brains are. It's like there's just constantly different things flashing in front, and we're thinking about a lot of things at once. And so I remember my mom always telling me, slow down. Talk too fast. You talk too fast. You talk too fast. I can't understand you. So I think that's the only thing that really stands out for me when I was little. I really didn't have a problem paying attention. When I was a kid, more as an adult, it's just all of the things that I've learned about myself. That there's like, ooh, yeah, that explains that.
Is there anything like in particular that comes to mind?
Rejection sensitivity is a big one for me. Breakups are always very, very hard. Rejection sensitivity is a big one. And then just not being able to like to focus my brain at night. Sometimes I just lay in bed and I think of all the things I have to do. Not that other people don't think about that, but for me, it's kind of debilitating sometimes. And I was like, I just want to fall asleep. I just want my brain to shut off. I just want my brain to be quiet. That's a big one for me. Is getting my brain to shut off sometimes because it doesn't want to.
Do you ever take like meditation and stuff?
I do. I do yoga in the morning now. I do yoga, and I wouldn't say I meditate, but again my lo-fi music is on, and I'm just kind of vibing and chilling, and that's how I start every morning. So it's nice to like just start my morning really slow and vibe, make my list of what I need to do for the day. Because if I don't make a list, it's not going to get done. And my lists are text messages I send to myself. That's the only way I'm gonna remember to do things throughout the day.
You're just like your own like what's what I'm looking for here? Like holding yourself accountable in from like a third person standpoint. You're like, I'm gonna send this text message to future me.
Yeah,
yeah, and then
that's what I
you're
do.
responding.
I
to
can't
it.
even put stuff in notes. It's funny that you said that. That's probably the big one for me is I have to text myself reminders of things I have to do, and then I'll update it the next day. And I just keep a running text message to myself of all the things I have to do.
Like most of your text messages are just from yourself.
They're from myself. Yeah. Like the only person that texts me is myself.
Do you ever
with to-do lists?
Do you ever ignore your own messages and hurt your own feelings?
Sometimes.
Yeah, that rejection.
Yeah,
Like
that rejection sensitivity kicks in.
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
So everyone like now knows you as like, muscle queen, all the fitness and everything. But when did you actually start going on that journey?
So I started working out and going to the gym with an ex-boyfriend at the time when I was 25 or 26. So that was a pretty long time ago. And I wasn't doing drag at the time. And we broke up and I stuck with it. And it became my obsession. It became sanity for me. I mean, for anyone that does exercise and work out, it's so good for your mental health. Aside from your physical health, it's just so good to walk into the gym and spend an hour and a half, however long it is, on something just for you, with just music and no distractions. It's the favorite part of my day.
Yeah.
And it's stuck with me ever since then. And obviously I've fallen off and I got busy with Drag Race, and if I'm on tour for 3 months on a tour bus, I can't go to the gym. But if I wasn't on tour and I wasn't overworking myself and burning out, I was at the gym because I love it so much.
It's hard to even imagine like what you would look like without like all the muscles and everything like that. Like, but you went through like a huge transformation because from what you were like before. It's such a huge difference between like then and now.
Yeah.
So like, what was like the moment where you decided to get all the filler? Like when?
What's great is I didn't have an All-Stars face because my All-Stars face was my original season, and all of my filler has since kind of dissolved. I mean, obviously, I still have some things, some residuals left over, but I guess I'm happy that my All-Stars face was there from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's all like subtle. I think it's one of the things that help you like stand out on the show is because you came
those
in,
cheekbones and those those lips.
You had features that said like this is somebody who's like this is like all-star potential, but it's just the filler.
She looks like she should already be on All Stars.
You didn't overdo it though.
Oh no, it was overdone.
It's honestly probably better that you didn't go back to like an All Stars or anything because then you would have had to pump it up even more, and it would have floated.
I would have just floated away.
Yeah, you would look like Amanda Lepore.
Oh my God,
like a buff Amanda Lepore. Imagine.
Oh my God,
it's an image.
I think I've only watched my episodes from my season a very few times, and I remember seeing a clip in the last year of Rue talking to me at one of the pink tables, and I was like, nobody told me I looked like that. I looked a little ridiculous, and I was like, but I had just gotten my filler done right before we went to film, so that was very stupid. But
were you whenever you went to Drag Race, you were living in Tennessee still, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you were looking like that in Tennessee, like
just walking around.
Like that person makes sense in LA, even in Vegas. Yeah. But someone like that, like you were probably talking to the town wherever you were at, like in Tennessee.
Yeah,
yeah. People knew you.
I looked like that scene in Monsters, the Menendez brothers when they get all the filler work done, and they escape prison. I mean, I was pretty close. Those cheekbones were a little too much, a little too high.
No. Okay, it's because you know watching all those villains. Those are villain features.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's probably makes you intimidating.
Maleficent was
Circle
my
back.
favorite character as a kid, and she got the cut. No, I think a lot of people, we see a lot of celebrities now kind of going back and redoing their faces. And we've all seen like Lindsay and Demi Moore, and like all of these celebrities are getting a lot of their filler dissolved because it's migrated or it's moved around, and I thankfully mine has just died down a little bit since season 10.
My face is too fat for filler. I think I would just it would just add lumps onto it. So it would look like a pillow. But you know.
Yeah, I think my face is a little too narrow for all that filler, so I'm glad I learned my lesson and toned it down a little bit.
No. You never looked like too crazy though.
It wasn't crazy, but it was definitely like,
Yeah. Start too late though. You can look crazy. What do you think it's gonna be like whenever you get older? Are you gonna have like another crisis and like you know?
I don't know.
Go
I
crazy?
don't want to look crazy like that. I think eventually, I feel like I'm in my midlife crisis right now. A good one though. A good midlife crisis.
Yeah, it's a reasonable level of vanity you have going for you right now.
I think I'll just be comfortable with giving up. I mean, I have makeup on today, and this is the first time I put on makeup in I don't remember how long. I don't care anymore. In my everyday life, I just don't give a shit. I'll find you a picture. I'll send you a picture. And when I was in hair school, I put on a full mug every day to go to school. I mean, lashes, liner, lips,
Oh my gosh.
brows. I was painted, and I would do that every day. And now I can't even be bothered to put on concealer most days. I just don't give a shit no more.
Let me show you like
care.
perfectly like sculpted beard and fade, and you're just like, I just don't care if people think of me. But I'm like, yeah, I believe it.
This is the only day I look like this. I'm gonna send you a picture of me what I look like every other day, so
You go home,
everyone can judge me.
You take your corset off, like a pop can of biscuits.
I don't have any muscles. It's all filler.
Exactly. You seen that one guy? It's like super swole, but it's all like injections.
The arms?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it makes me, it
Goals.
hurts. It hurts. I just know I'm like, oh my God, he's got to be in so much pain. And he has to walk around like this.
He's gonna die. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
that's so-
same, but this is natty.
Yeah, that's all natural though.
Yeah, it's natty.
You know. Natty.
Natty Matty. That's what they call
Natty
me.
Matty.
Natty morphosis.
Natty morphosis. Shut up. Stupid.
Have you ever done any like bit on the juice at all, or even like our
No,
mom?
I mean, I
just because I'm not accusing you now, but like in the scene, some people do sometimes, and
yeah, I think I'm still. If you look at that picture that you showed earlier, I still have such a small frame, and if I was doing steroids, I think I would be like jacked. The way that I work out, I work out like I'm training for like the next Gladiator movie. Like if I was on steroids, I'd be gigantic. I would be huge. I'd be so big. So never say never, but
yeah,
no, not yet.
we're still young, like it's just, let's see what happens.
See what
See where it
happens.
goes.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
I might get desperate.
Maybe that's your older crisis you're gonna go through.
That's my midlife crisis.
You're gonna be the biggest
We're just
60-year-old.
roided out.
Yeah.
60-year-old like Terminator.
Yeah, you're gonna look like Hiatus from Tekken, just full like huge
Yes.
ripped.
Yeah. Bodybuilder Barbie. Oh yeah.
What? What is that?
I don't know. That was my attempt at a Schwarzenegger voice.
Oh.
You watched Snatch Game. I'm not good at that shit.
Yeah, no, solid. It was good. Yeah, we'll edit it in post to make it look better. But with your fitness journey and everything, again, like there's not a lot of like muscle queens on the show, and so whenever you go on the show, immediately you get labeled trade of the season. That face, you don't like that? You don't agree with it?
It's not that I don't agree with it, but I mean that's objective, and I think people think I see myself a different way than I see myself. So that's objective, but if that's what people said, sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying like you don't have to agree with it. I'm saying, but the fan base, there are people, people on your season, or people watching your season, we're saying, I'll trade the season, and I feel like a lot of people they talked a lot about you out of drag. Like, did it ever get to a point where like you got frustrated with that or uncomfortable with it?
It never made me uncomfortable.
Do you ever feel like it took away from like your artistry though, like people focusing a lot on like the male aspect of it?
It never bothered me, but I wanted to make sure that people were paying attention to my drag. That was important to me. Obviously I was there and production may have chosen me for that reason, but I wanted to make sure that my drag was celebrated as well.
Yeah, as a trade of my season 2, I get it. It's hard.
Yeah, it was. It sucked.
Like I'm not just a piece of meat. I mean, I am, but I'm also,
I'm like
an artist.
like a pretty artistic piece of meat.
Yeah.
God.
Anyways, like yeah, like my drag is amazing too because it's on this hot, beautiful canvas, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress.
We digress.
But obviously, with the objectification of the fan base, it didn't affect you too much because you leaned into it a little bit, after your hiatus, whenever you started your OnlyFans. So, with that, like, it's not like super crazy OnlyFans yet, or is it?
I mean,
How buck wild are we getting? I can't afford the rate, so I'm asking for a friend.
it's not PG. It's not PG-13. It's definitely, I would say it's definitely R-rated at the moment, and it's soon to be X-rated. There are
soon to
obviously
be. Oh, okay.
there are obviously things that I won't be comfortable doing, and there are obviously things that other creators may be doing that I won't ever feel comfortable with. But it's definitely not. It's definitely not something that should be accessible anywhere else on the internet except that site. So we'll say that.
Okay.
We'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember like you tweeted a while back talking about OnlyFans, like inquiring people about it, about if people did like milder versions of like OnlyFans
Yeah.
or like like not just straight up, explicit OnlyFans. But you're actually leaning into that?
I am a little bit. I mean, obviously, I don't see myself doing. Never say never. I don't see myself doing collaborations with other people just yet. I don't think that's something I'm comfortable with. But I am having fun with it. I'm actually having fun with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't label myself an exhibitionist per se, but I'm enjoying this little I was gonna say circus. I mean, it is kind of a circus, but I'm enjoying this little area that I've created over there aside from Instagram, and it's just a different vibe, and it's fun. I am enjoying it. It is fun.
What made you decide to actually like go down that route?
I had the username created for about 3 years, I think. I created the username when I was still doing Drag Race Live. I remember I logged onto the site, I created the page. So I've had the URL for about 3 or 4 years now.
Is this under like Kameron Michaels?
Yeah, it was Kameron
Oh,
Michaels.
so you just like secured the username and
I secured the username like 4 years ago. I made sure, just in case I ever wanted to. And then I chickened out, and I chickened out again, and I kept chickening out. And this year was finally the year that I pulled the trigger per se. And I was like, you know what's holding me back? I want to do this. I think it might be fun. Let's see if it's fun. And so far, I'm glad that I did.
Can I ask like how do I word this here? If we had to like tease it for the audience, like for someone that's like they're interested but they don't know what they're getting into, like what kind of content's on there right now?
So right now, I mean, obviously when this interview airs, it might be a different story because I do have a reveal date set for something.
Okay.
So after Valentine's Day, my content might look a little bit different, but right now it's too explicit for Instagram. But if you look at some of my past Instagram stories and past Instagram posts, it's that with a little less clothing.
Okay. So I think that's a solid endorsement for it, It's like nothing too crazy, nothing that will make your grandma faint, but definitely nothing you can like be looking at.
I don't know if your grandma if your grandma subscribes, make sure her subscription cuts off before Valentine's Day. Let's just say that
grandma will die. She will perish.
Yeah, she might.
You ever thought about doing like crossover? Because you're really into like cosplay and characters and stuff like that, and like stuff like that is really hot right now in the explicit community, and people love like the cosplay and crossover stuff.
I really think the fans and the little community that I've created over there, they've been vocal. They have expectations, and I think like cosplay may be too much clothing for them.
Okay. I mean, you cut out holes, and you get creative with it.
I will say that
artistry.
I've come across a few like furries on like TikTok and Instagram, and I find those intriguing. I see the people making fun of them all the time, but I'm like, why? Like, who is that hurting? Like, I think it's cool.
Intriguing, like a curious way, or intriguing of like I might dabble in that at some point.
I don't think I would ever do it, but like sometimes when you see the furries and then they have their shirt off, I'm like,
you're not down to yiff?
I might be. I don't know. It's kind of hot.
Again, like we don't know what's coming on your, OnlyFans
No furry
in
content,
the near
but
future. Well, not, well, never say never.
never
But
say
if someone
never.
found out, hey, like Cameron Michaels has furry content, I'd buy a subscription just out of curiosity's sake.
Don't say that because I'm such that person that and once I get an idea in my head, I have to do it. I will go online and go on Amazon or wherever it is, some website, cosplay website, Etsy probably.
It's not something you can casually do though, because like the furry stuff, it's expensive. Like the outfits and the masks, like they commission those, they spend money. That's why it's always like
But if
high
the pay,
paid tech bros that are into like furries and stuff.
but if the fans are paying for that type of content and they want to see it,
yeah, I
then
guess so. Yeah,
does that count as a tax write-off?
Amazon wish
I think it might be.
Is that a tax write-off if you're making content?
I think if OnlyFans, yeah, if OnlyFans is your income, this is a tax write off. So if you're doing a fursuit,
See,
get paid to yiff. If you guys want to see Cameron get into yiffing, let us know in the comments.
I mean, let me know in the comments below because I don't know, it looks kind of fun.
Cameron Michaels furry content coming soon.
I guess so.
So on top of the online content you're creating outside of drag, you've also started a new like fitness journey. What exactly is that? Is it like personal training? Is it a gym? Like what is it?
So it is going to be online personal training. Now, obviously, I am only one person, and I am partnering with a veteran, I believe, 10 years in the industry, another personal trainer friend of mine. So we have put together an app together. So there are demo videos, nutrition plans, workout plans, weekly or monthly check-ins with me as we're coaching you. So I'm very excited about that. Now, obviously, I can't take a lot of people in the beginning, so it is a little bit of a small launch. But before the app launches, we are working on grab and go programs for people that I can't have access to from the very beginning. I mean, obviously, I can't train 1,000 people at one time. With weekly check-ins and things of that nature. So there will be grab and go programs available for people that don't get in on the first round of personal training with me.
So is this something that's like live now, like pre-order type thing, or is it like it's still in the works and it's coming soon?
We haven't done the pre-order yet. We're thinking of doing that. So basically, the end goal for me is entering into the fitness industry. I want to create a space for LGBTQ trainers or allies. And of course, they need to be LGBTQIA friendly. And create this online, web space where we can all come together and spread fitness to everyone, not just those in our community. But I think for people that do identify as members of our community, that sometimes the gym could be an intimidating place, and I want to create a safe place. So I want a lot of trainers to bring on to the company, but that's future. That's future. That's down the road. That's down the road. But
I was gonna have a follow-up question because you're talking about how like you can only deal with like a certain small pool of people, but with an app, it obviously sounds like you have bigger plans for it. So, but eventually you want to create like a LGBTQ centric wide app for like everybody. So that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, we see obviously I can't have this big giant launch from the very beginning. I'm only one person, and I have one trainer with me right now. But I want that umbrella eventually is this little fitness empire that's LGBTQIA friendly, where everyone can feel safe and we can all work on our mental and physical health together.
Yeah, I didn't know it was an app because whenever I saw like the kind of an announcement post, it's just like the picture of you, like the standard like pose and this big smile. I was like, oh shit, she's starting a gym. But no, it's just an app for now.
Maybe one day. That might be too expensive for me, but for now, it's definitely, I have this access to a lot of people online, and I want to share my love of fitness with them. And so yeah, the app will be coming out soon.
So with the new app and all your fitness stuff and everything, are you still even gonna have time to be doing drag? Are people gonna see Kameron Michaels, the drag queen, still?
I think people are so worried that I'm quitting drag. I mean, I definitely see some comments and some DMs, but I think that this is just something that I'm exploring right now, and fitness is a big part of my life, and I am very passionate about it. And so if I could just ask people to have a little bit of patience with me as I'm putting the energy into this. I started studying for my personal trainer certification in 2021. and it doesn't take 4 years to get. So I've just had to juggle drag and that back and forth, and I finally took the time to make personal training my goal and focus on that. So I'm just asking for a little patience. I'm not giving up drag. I'm not going to quit. I love drag. It's been a savior for me for years, being able to express myself in that way, as for a lot of us, as drag is. So no, I'm not quitting drag. I'll be around. I'll be here and there, but I feel like this is my focus right now. And you have your show, and Trixie has makeup, and Kimchi has makeup, and drag queens are doing other things, and fitness it just makes sense for me, and I am passionate about it. So
Yeah, thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense too, because there is this huge niche of like, for people in fitness that isn't really tapped into, that's like LGBTQ like centric and focused. And especially like with drag queens, every drag queen is like trying to find new avenues to go down, and no one's done like the fitness aspect of it. And
yeah, and I feel like that makes a lot of sense for me.
you should get like in drag for like for like women's videos and stuff.
I will say this. Obviously this is on the back burner, but I do want to do a little YouTube series, and I want to bring other girls, whether it be Rue girls or local girls, or entertainers in general, and drag kings, whoever it may be, and I want to do fun fitness content and film little workout videos, and maybe I might get in drag for those. I think it would be fun.
There it is. Well, on that note, that is the last of my cards, the last bit of time we have. But thank you for coming in. I wanted to get you something. Again, you're not
you.
quitting drag,
I'm not quitting drag. I need some time.
but your facial hair is definitely a factor in all that. So you can continue your journey, and so you can still have facial hair. I got you a little lace front goatee. You might have to trim it a little bit. It's a little long, but yeah. So you can continue your journey. It's lace front, so it looks almost realistic. But yeah, that is for you.
Thank
to
you.
take with you.
I bought one of these during Drag Race Live, and I was going to start wearing it because I could not have facial hair the entire time I was working Drag Race Live. So I lost it. So this is perfect.
You might hit up Akiria, because I had her on the show, and she was full wool mono when she's in the chair. And then I met her like the next day for something, like drop something off to her, and she had a full like beard of facial hair. So
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Or is it a lace front?
I think it was like a lace front, and it looked real. So you might
Okay.
she might have some tips for you.
Well, I'm a hairstylist still. We forget about that, but so I'll put a little work into it and then make sure.
Yeah.
So if you see me at an airport just let me have my moment, okay?
Yeah.
I need my facial hair. It's part of who I am now.
Don't get too close. Anyway.
Thank you. I love it.
So to rehash all the upcoming stuff, you have spicy content coming, fitness app coming soon, possibly some shows. What else is going on? Where can people find you online? All your socials are at Kameron Michaels.
So the only social that I'm on right now is Instagram. I kind of narrowed that down. The world got too noisy, and Instagram is my only socials that I'm active on right now. Obviously, the spicy content is over there where it should be and where it will stay. And then there's no shows on the roster right now, but I'm always open to do shows. So when those come up, I'll obviously post about them. And then the fitness app will be launching, and I will announce that soon.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's where people can find you. Stay tuned for all the upcoming projects. However deep you want to get into that. And
say deep again.
not for free. You have to subscribe to the content, silly. As you can find her, and you can find me right here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming guests. And join us next time whenever we have somebody else. Yeah. Till then. Bye, guys.
Let's go.
Poopy butt.
Poopy butt.
Stinky.